So in today's video, I'm going to be answering three main questions. Number one is, what is media buying? Number two, what can it do for you? And then number three, how can you get started and get in the game? So let's dive into it. Okay, so let's just break down fundamentally what is media buying. I see a lot of different definitions that are out there, but this is going to be the most simplest version that I can break down to you at the end of the day. So for specific platforms like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and or Google, essentially what you're doing is spending money on an advertisement that gets in front of people where they end up purchasing that product. And your goal as a media buyer, somebody that is skilled at this specific talent, is being able to spend $1, okay, and make a company back $3, $4, $5 back in sales. So I really want to break that down for you. It's as simple as that, right? So if you're ever scrolling over on Instagram and all of a sudden you see a pair of shoes and you're like, dang, you know what? Those kicks are fresh. You know, I'm interested in those. And all of a sudden you click on that advertisement. You actually have the money to afford those shoes. And based off of what you see, you think the price is good. So you go to their website and all of a sudden you have a transaction. And at the end of the day, that company gets paid for when you purchase their product. So that is the name of the game, okay? And so the paid media person is responsible for spending the money for the company on these adverts, right? Advertisements, and being able to craft them and being able to put it in front of the right target demographic so that they take out their wallet and that they actually pay, okay? So that is what media buying is. But on top of that, I want to give you guys the perspective that now that I've been doing media buying now for the last 6 years, what is media buying beyond just the foundational technical aspect of people spending money on ads and then purchasing products, okay? So media buying at the end of the day is a evergreen skill, because what is most important for businesses is they need attention and they need sales. They need customers. Every business needs customers. And if you can't get customers, well, you're not going to be in business for very long. And it's important to understand that people are willing to spend a lot of money with people who are experts at this one skill, okay? Because the way that I see this is that this is a superpower when you understand how to do this at a high level. Because when you are able to spend $1 on advertisements and make a company back $3, $4, $5, who would not pay for that? The caveat is being able to do that consistently at a very high level, which means that you have to get good at this. So it's something that is in very high demand because there are not a lot of people that are good at this, okay? So as with any skill, there are people that participate, that understand the fundamentals that I just taught to you, but they do not look at it as a craft. They do not see it as a skill that needs to be honed. And so the analogy that I can give to you, for example, is a lot of people have tried playing sports, right? But there's a very few people that ever go pro. And so as a craft, for example, somebody like Kobe, Michael Jordan, Shaq, people who have mastered the game get paid the most, okay? So same thing with music. That's another analogy. A lot of people try to make music, but they don't end up getting to the top of the game. It's the same thing here. It's something that you can actually spend time developing and turn into a real career, because ever since the last 6 years of my life, this is what I've been doing full time. It's allowed me to live a completely remote lifestyle and has been able to provide more than enough for myself financially. And beyond that, it's helped me shift into a position where I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want. And at the end of the day, that's a very, very valuable position to be in. And I promise you, if that's something that interests you, that's something that I strongly implore you to start thinking about when it comes to media buying. Media buying is more than just running ads. It is a craft, and it's something that you can hone in for the rest of your life. So that brings me a little bit into what media buying can do for you specifically. And based off of the track record that I told you about, I want to tell you a little bit more in details. Just maybe you could see a little bit of how it transformed my life. And if you start getting into this skill set and you start learning it, maybe something can happen similar along the lines in terms of a transformation for yourself. Because for me, I am by no means a natural phenom, but I am somebody that was very ambitious and I wanted to be in control of my life, right? Freedom is something that we all seek and we all desire. And that's something that, especially in America, or, if you're in a first world country, it's something that is extremely desirable. You want to be able to control everything. So I started off as a kid who was sleeping on the living room floor, okay? So growing up as a Vietnamese child with a single immigrant mother, we were always tight on money. And so I never ran a business before. I was damn near broke. I dropped out of college and I had no skills. I started from nothing, okay? And this one skill over the last 6 years, as I've been able to hone this, refine it, has really put me in a position now where I've made over $1 million in sales before the age of 25. And that's revenue that I've been able to generate with my own business. You don't need to go through that. Like, I'm just saying that there's a massive upside potential of mastering this skill. Fully sovereign. I'm in control of everything, right? A real track record. I've helped clients, a ton of clients, over 400 clients in over 30 different states. And it's allowed me to self-educate myself, where I've personally have now spent over $100,000 in courses, mentorships in different places where I just learned myself. I didn't go to university for this. I didn't get a degree, none of those things. This was something that was completely self-taught. And I hopefully can give you the roadmap or point you into the right direction for you to be able to get into a position where you can start learning the skill itself, so that you can actually get into the game, go through the process, and go through the motions of learning this skill. So let's break down how you can personally get started with media buying, okay? And the best recommendation that I can give to you is you first need to learn the skill, okay? So I broke down fundamentally what media buying really is, but you want to go out there and start just learning. Okay, and some of the best resources that I've found over this time period are the following here. And one of the lessons that I've learned within entrepreneurship is when you study anything new, you want to go learn from some of the best in the world. Okay, that's like my number one recommendation for you. I'm not the best in the world. I may be a few steps ahead of you, but in this position, you want to go learn from people that have done this, right? They're the masters in the game. And a few of them, you guys may have seen this one before. He's probably the biggest out of the forum that I'm mentioning here today, is Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi is just a great marketer. You can see his content. He actually wrote the book, $100 Million Leads. If you want to read that book, go get this book. I recommend you get these resources. Write down these names right now with a piece of paper on your phone, whatever you got to do. Make sure that you take notes of these characters that I bring up to you, because these guys are the OGs. Like, if I'm to put credit towards learning the game, these guys put me on for sure. And just through their free content, like you don't need to go and pay for courses and education programs right out the gate, right? You can learn a lot of this stuff for free. The education is completely free, but the name of the game is taking action, which I'll show you how to do in just a moment. But number one is start off with the best high quality information that's out there. Number two is Dan Kennedy. This guy is considered like one of the OGs of direct response marketing. So direct response marketing, this guy is a little bit older, okay? And I'll name two more other ones, David Ogilvy and Claude Hopkins. These guys were around before social media was around. So these guys are just marketing geniuses. They understand how to create a message and how to write ad copy and create a message that will actually help people convert. And this was with direct response mail, with billboards, with TVs. It was a different era back then. And so it's so much easier to win with marketing and direct response marketing and advertising nowadays with media buying, because you can just make a video, put it onto the platform, spend a few $100, and you don't really have to spend too much to get in front of your core target demographic, okay? Because back before social media even came out, we had to rely on TV, radio, and mail, right? And that was a much more traditional fashion of being able to market. But the skill of marketing, the skill of being able to spend money on campaigns and be able to convert it into sales is still to this day a very valuable skill. So you can basically draw a line for a very long time, since there's been, over the last 200 years, marketing has been very prevalent. So it never goes away, but it just changes form a little bit. Kind of like how music does, or cooking, whatever. But next on is number 3 is Russell Brunson. Dude, this guy is a master. He has taught me so much about human psychology and how to actually write copy and how to come up with marketing messages. And he wrote Expert Secrets. So I strongly implore you. Expert Secrets has been foundationally one of the most important books that I've ever read when it comes to understanding marketing. And then last but not least is Alex Becker. This guy is a savage. He is a G. And this guy has built over a 9-figure company. These guys have all built over 9-figure companies, by the way. Like, they make a lot of money, to put it bluntly, okay? So Russell Brunson built ClickFunnels. Alex Hormozi built Acquisition.com. He's exited multiple companies. And then Alex Becker has built Hyros, which is also evaluated at, I believe now, over like $250 million at the time of recording this. And then Dan Kennedy, you can look up his track record. He's a G. He's done a lot of stuff. And specifically with him, he has Facebook ad courses and trainings where it's a little bit more in detail, where you'll learn the tactical, okay? The guys that I just mentioned to you is very foundational. So understanding what even is marketing, how human psychology works, how purchasing decisions are driven, that's the foundation. The other caveat is you can go learn it from, just look up free Facebook ad courses, free TikTok ads courses, free Google ad courses, and just start there. Start taking notes and go through this every single day. The information is literally there. Like, you can get started with little to no money. You don't need to do anything. And me personally, I ended up buying a course originally, and this was back in 2019. I bought from Ty Lopez. He's not really in the game too much. It was a little bit of a different era back then, and gurus kind of have a little bit of bad rap. But hey, he was the one that got me started into the game, so I have to give him his flowers. And he had a Facebook ads course. It was called Social Media Marketing at the time, and I didn't understand this, but what I was learning was media buying, okay? So how to run advertisements and how to convert people into sales. So I strongly implore you, like, the 20% for your success in this career, start off in the right foot, okay? Like, do not do what I did, which is just learn how to click buttons. If you just learn how to click buttons, you're gonna be like every other Joe Schmo. You're gonna be like button pusher Sam, and you don't wanna be one of those. We don't wanna be an amateur, okay? We wanna put you on a projection to be a professional. So with that being said, if you go and learn the foundational aspect, that's 80% of it. Learn human psychology. Learn why people buy things. Study the actual game. Understand what copywriting is. Understand how to write hooks. Understand how to split test. Understand those foundational things. What metrics, how to diagnose a marketing campaign. Look at what metrics are important for your performance. Like, start there. That's the most important part. And then start getting into how to set up your first campaign, how to click the buttons and all those other things. Because all of my success, the reason why I've been able to close over $1 million in sales is because I understand foundationally, I'm an expert when it comes to the foundation of human psychology and how to write those things. I've been obsessive. I've been studying it for years on end. And that's what separates good from great. And so if you want to just start out right on the right foot, learn from these guys. These are the masters. Look in this domain and find the best people to learn from, and you can get the ball rolling from there. So let's dive into how can you start making money? The most important part, right? So now that you understand, number one, what is media buying? Number two, what it can do for you. Number three, where to get started, who to start learning from. Now we can get into how can this translate into cash into your wallet, because at the end of the day, this is how I got started, and I'll tell you what I did. And I don't recommend everyone start out the way that I did, because like I would have made a lot more faster progress if I took the route that I'm going to show you. And so I think it's important for you to take note of this, as well as that the reason why it's important for you to learn a skill in general, right? Not just media buying, but sales, copywriting, automation, other skills that you can learn online, how to use ChatGPT, et cetera, is because people pay to solve their problems. And I have to break this down to you, where this concept of the value exchange theory is the reason why in America people make a shit ton of money. And one of the best lessons I've ever learned from a mentor, Tony Robbins, is he says you have to become more valuable. That is the core reason as to why some people get paid $50,000 a year for their whole life, and why there's people that are freaking billionaires. Because somebody like Elon Musk is providing cars to the entire world, trying to send people to freaking Mars, while somebody that, you know, bags groceries at Walmart is not providing that much value. And by no means am I saying that's bad, right? Like, I'm not saying that, like, because you work a regular job that you're not, like, a good person. But the caveat is that you have to learn skills that allow you to provide more value to another person, right? Because, for example, if somebody paid me $5,000, but I was able to help them spend money on advertisement and make back $30,000, why would they not pay me that $5,000? Does that make sense? So like, you have to understand that your value has to increase when you learn this skill. And learning a high leverage skill like media buying is one of the fastest way that you can level up your income. And that's how I went from just bagging groceries at Costco to being able to quit my job and do this full time, and then go on to make tens of thousands of dollars a month, just getting really freaking good at this, right? And no, this is not hype. Know that this will take time. It took me like 6 years now, right? And it took 2 years to even just like master the basics, because I was doing it part-time. But if you're genuinely ambitious, you're genuinely somebody that wants to make more money, and obviously if you're watching it to this point, then yeah, you're trying to make money, right? Then take that lesson to heart, because it's one of the most important things that you'll end up going through, because media buying is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? And media buying, in my personal opinion, after my own experience, is the best place to start, because it will be a gateway for you to learn other skills that will impact your life, like copywriting and sales and team management, which is all things that I went on to learn because I first understood that value stacking, skill stacking was the best thing for me to do. So you have to increase your value. So start here and get the ball rolling. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got started, because this is it was not the best way to do it, but if you're hungry enough, you're a dog, like you're going to figure it out, dog. So the first thing I ended up doing was I door knocked. So there's actually videos that I took when I was about 19 years old, and I would go to my local businesses. And after I watched these courses and these videos on how to run Facebook ads, how to do media buying, what I ended up doing was I ended up walking out to salons. I walked into car tire shops, repair shops, and I just went door to door, walking in there, and I was like, hey, is the owner here? I would like to set up a meeting and talk about how I could help you guys promote your guys' business and bring more customers in. Is that something that you're interested in? And most of the time I got told to, buzz off, go away. No, that's not something that we're interested in. But that's how I got started. And there's a highway in the state of Washington, this is where I'm from, where I drove 100 miles north and south. And the key here with like actually making money with media buying is consistency, ambition, and discipline. Like, that's the key. Like, you cannot just watch this video and then be like, oh wow, this sounds so easy. No, you're gonna get fucking like your teeth kicked in thinking that, okay? And that's good. You should be able to be learn how to be tenacious. You should learn how to be consistent, because that was the reason why I was able to go from 0 to making 10K a month with media buying. And most people actually try new skills and they never fucking make it because they're not consistent. But hopefully that's not going to be a problem for you, but that's something that I have to preface first. Number 2 is cold calling. So like literally just look up businesses in your local area, call them up being like, hey, I just looked into your guys' website. I believe that I could help you guys run some better advertisements and bring in more customers. Is there a time for me to be able to set up an appointment with you guys, be able to come in and show you guys what I could do for you? Is that something that we could set up a time for? Number 3 is direct messages. So maybe you guys get this here and there, but reach out to these companies. You can you look into my like Instagram and my social media profiles, but if you build your profile in a way and you present yourself professionally online, and you don't look like some random ass kid that's in their freaking mom's basement, right? Like, looks do freaking matter on social media. Like, I can't tell you how many times I get hit up by some people that watch my content and they're like super super weird, and I would never buy any services. I would never trust you to do anything. But besides the fact, you can send messages to companies, and you can also look up on their website what their email is and basically go through the whole pitch. So anyways, I'll make a video that is a little bit more in depth. I do not want to spend the rest of this video going into the specific nuances on how to do outreach at a high level. So if that interests you, leave a comment down below. If it does, I can make that another video in the future. And then number 2 is applying for gigs and jobs. This everything that I just said works. And if you want to be a freelancer, and number 2, you want to be a business owner, that's where I recommend starting out. Well, that's how you can get started, but it's not where I recommend getting started out, especially if you've never ran an ad before. If I was to go back in time and I could have told myself what I should have done differently, as I would have been like, yo, TJ, the best way to actually learn the skill set of media buying is actually applying for gigs and a job, right? And I didn't really understand this concept at the time. But let's say if I'm trying to learn the skill set of sales, I would have picked up a sales job so rather freaking fast, because I would have learned it a lot faster and I would have got paid to do it. Like, this is the other thing. Number one, you're learning the skill, which is the most important part. But number two, you're getting freaking paid for it on somebody else's dollar, dime, and time in order to learn this skill set. So if you look up media buying on Indeed, if you look at media buying on LinkedIn, you look at media buying on Upwork, make accounts for those, look into those companies. They're essentially job listing marketplaces where you can go ahead and find people that are actively searching for, employees to work for their company. And dude, start here, man. Like, even if it's a side gig, even if it's like $500, even if it's like $2,000, $3,000 a month, I mean, honestly, like, that's better than some of your guys' job right now, right? It was better than mine at the time. But yeah, I wish I did that, because I would have learned so much more stuff way faster. And if you go in there with the intention that that is a stepping stone for you to learn the skill, that's gonna progress your skill sets a lot faster. So then once you're at that job for maybe, let's say, 6 months, you can then get another job because you built up a portfolio, right? And so that's the biggest thing as a service provider, because essentially you're providing this media buying service to multiple companies. And that's kind of how I ended up going from, from complete zero to like building up this track record. You have to take shit deals. You have to just work with anybody that you possibly can, right? And the more reps you get in, and trust me, like, I've ran thousands of ads, like spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars at this point, right, on advertising. And everyone's new until they're not, okay? And so you're gonna start from complete scratch and not know what the fuck you're doing, but that's okay. Like, the biggest thing is just having the balls and the ignorance to just go out there and just say, fuck it, I'm gonna figure it out. And that's the best mindset that you can approach it with, okay? And that's the mindset that I approached it with. Dude, I'm not like some freaking mega genius. Like, I didn't know how to fucking do any of this stuff, but over time, I took the actions and I developed myself to the point where now it's been a full-time career for me. And man, has it been freaking phenomenal, right? And I'll also say this, right? Whenever I've been in a pinch, whenever I've gone back to zero, fucking lost everything, right? And that's happened across my career at this point. When you're in the game, eventually it's gonna happen, right? When you lose everything, the most important part that you can that nobody can take away, right? The economy can't take this away. The fucking your boss can't take this away. Like, the environment that you're in can't take this away. It's your skill set, your cultivation, your track record, your reputation, your name, right? It's when you pour into developing this, and you don't look at this as a get rich quick scheme, because none of that shit fucking is real anyways, right? They're either just trying to like sell you a course, sell you some type of program, which I'm not opposed. My life has been changed from those type of things, but you want to focus on being the type of person that can achieve the results that you want, having the right characteristics. And number two is also having the right skill set. So when you have the right skill, you have the right character traits, and you're doing and you have the right opportunity vehicle, something like media buying, where you can close $5,000, $10,000 deals per month, right? And you have clients that pay you every single month. Right now, I have clients that pay me thousands of dollars every single month just to run their advertisement at a high level. And I'll break those down in a little bit of different videos. If you're interested in learning how to do the outreach methods, if you're interested in learning how to run paid media ads from me, myself, then subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be dropping more sauce like this regularly. But the caveat that you have to understand is that you have to develop yourself mentally and develop your skill set. Go out there and go after it. So again, if you want to learn more of these things, I highly implore you to watch this video either right here or there, right? It's going to pop up on the screen here in just a moment. But yeah, if you like videos like this and you're interested in mastering this craft and you want to follow somebody along the journey, I'm actively in the game. I'm still in the trenches. I'm doing this shit, right? Every single day. And I'm releasing videos on a regular basis on how to master this craft. It's something that I'm genuinely passionate about, and it took me a while. I didn't realize that this was going to be such a passion of mine until recently, right? And this is why I'm making these YouTube videos for you. So, if you enjoy this type of content, I hope you subscribe and you tap into another video sometime soon. So, peace.